One of the best things about the NBA are the domino effects that create some of the best moments and storylines in NBA history. There are also the moments that if just one thing was different, it would drastically change a lot of what we know today. From trades and signings to possible playoff series, to injuries that may have prevented Hall of Fame worthy careers. In this video, I'm going to go through the top 10 craziest what ifs in NBA history. Number 10, the Lakers vs the Celtics in the 2023 finals. As you know, the Denver Nuggets and the Miami Heat played in the finals this year, which the Nuggets won. But when people saw that the conference finals were the Nuggets vs the Lakers and the Heat vs the Celtics, everybody was preparing themselves for a Lakers vs Celtics finals. The first we've seen since 2010. The Lakers and the Celtics are one of the biggest rivalries in sports, and this finals would have been insane. The Lakers and the Celtics are tied for the most championships of all time with 17. That means if they played in the finals against each other, it would be to see who is the greatest franchise in NBA history. LeBron would have gotten a chance at his 5th championship, and Jason Tatum would have had another chance at a championship after 2022. Everybody was pretty disappointed when neither team made it to the finals, and even though I thought the Nuggets vs Heat was entertaining, this series goes down as one of the biggest what ifs as well. Number 9, if Kevin Durant had a smaller shoe size. I'm of course referring to the game-winning shot Kevin Durant hit on the Milwaukee Bucks in Game 7 of the semifinals. That could have won them the game if Kevin Durant didn't have size 43 shoes and didn't step on the line. This shot would have been the second game winner in a Game 7 ever, right by Kawhi Leonard's against the 76ers. The Bucks went on to win this game in overtime, but what if Kevin Durant's shot counted as a 3? The Nets would have won against the Atlanta Hawks, and as good as they were playing in these playoffs, beating the 76ers in 7 games, I believe this Nets team would have been able to beat the Atlanta Hawks. Then it would have been the Nets and the Suns in the finals, where we could have seen a lot of new storylines and resumes change in the series. We would have either seen James Harden or Chris Paul get their first championships, Kevin Durant could win for the first time as the standout leader of a team, and it would have been a really fun series. I still think the Bucks vs Suns finals was great. There were so many crazy moments and games in the series, but it would have been a lot of fun to see this Nets vs Suns matchup. Number 8, if James Harden never got traded from the Thunder. In 2012, the Thunder traded James Harden and 2 other players to the Houston Rockets for a package that included Kevin Martin, Jeremy Lamb, and 2 future first-round picks that became Steven Adams and Mitch McGary. This is one of the most notorious trades in NBA history, considering Harden was teamed up with Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant at the time. And this was in October of 2012, right after they made it to the finals. We all know the player that James Harden turned into after this trade, becoming one of the best scorers we have ever seen. The Thunder had no real success after this trade playoff-wise, and Kevin Durant had his notorious move in 2016, joining the Golden State Warriors. So, what if James Harden never got traded? There is a chance that if Harden would have stayed in OKC, he would not have evolved into the player he turned into on the Rockets, averaging almost 40 points and becoming the best ISO player we have ever seen. But saying that, Harden was already a 6th man of the year for OKC and a great fit for the Thunder at the time. He was still James Harden, and I'm sure he would have inevitably continued to get better and better and become the all-star caliber player he became. And we would be probably looking at one of the best trios in NBA history. To this day, I don't understand why OKC went through with this trade. They ended up getting Steven Adams out of it, but still, Harden was already a great asset for them, and they traded him for practically nothing. This trio would have been amazing to watch evolve, and it still remains as one of the biggest what-ifs ever. Number 7, if Chris Paul got traded to the Lakers. Yes, at one point, Chris Paul was almost traded to the Kobe Bryant-led Lakers. The NBA did not allow a 3-team trade the Hornets had constructed that would have sent Chris Paul, the 7th-year All-Star, already considered to be one of the game's greatest point guards, to a Lakers franchise that had won 2 of the previous 3 titles. This would have made for one of the best teams of the 2010s, having a backcourt of the best point guard and the best shooting guard in the league at the time. And looking back at it, after the Kevin Durant Warriors were formed, and the various other super teams, it still does not make sense why this trade got vetoed. Number 6, if Steph Curry got drafted by the Knicks. We all know Steph Curry as a Golden State Warrior, and he is easily the greatest player in the franchise history. But did you know that Steph Curry actually wanted to go to New York? He had no plans of playing in Golden State, and he had his sights set on the Knicks prior to the draft. When he was drafted by the Warriors, he was disappointed at first, but fast forwarding over a decade later, we can all see how well this worked out for Curry. Being teamed up with Klay Thompson and Draymond Green, I couldn't imagine Curry's career going any other way. He also would have been teamed up with Carmelo Anthony, who is a very ball-dominant player. If Curry ended up on the Knicks, he may not have developed into the player he is today. Number 5. If Shaq never left the Lakers. The Kobe and Shaq Lakers were an amazing dynasty in the early 2000s that won 3 straight championships. And they are the last team that we have seen three-peat. In 2004, they had the opportunity to win 4 straight against the Detroit Pistons, but they ended up losing the series and collapsing in the process. Shaq and Kobe did not get along the best as teammates, as we all know. Both of their egos got in the way of them accomplishing so much more than they did, and as good of a run as they had, they left a lot to be desired. After the 2004 finals, it was a given that either Shaq or Kobe was leaving that team. It ended up being Shaq, who would join the Miami Heat and Dwayne Wade and eventually win another championship. Kobe would stay with the Lakers and led them throughout the 2000s, being one of the best scorers we've ever seen. And in 2008, he got the Lakers back to the finals and matched up against the Celtics. The Lakers lost the series, but they bounced back in 2009 and defeated the Orlando Magic in the finals. In 2010, the Lakers made it to the finals again, and Kobe finally got his vengeance against the Celtics. By this time, Shaq was evolving into what we refer to now as Fat Shaq. Bouncing around from the Suns to the Cavs to the Celtics, his career was coming to an end. This left NBA fans wondering how much more they could have accomplished if they put their egos and differences aside and just focused on winning. Kobe only got better and better after Shaq left, and Shaq still proved on the Heat that he could be a big asset on a championship team. If Shaq never left the duo, they could have gotten so many more championships and accolades together, and I truly believe that they would have solidified themselves as the greatest duo of all time. Number 4. If Kevin Durant never joined the Warriors. The notorious move I mentioned earlier, Kevin Durant in 2016 joined the 73-9 Golden State Warriors right after losing to them in the conference finals. This move ruined the balance of the NBA for 2 years, as they would go on to dominate the playoffs and the finals in 2017 and 2018. Most NBA fans despise this move to this day because of how unfair it felt and because of the fact that he joined the team he lost to, and for the fact that he stabbed OKC fans and Russell Westbrook in the back. For Kevin Durant, it seemed like a great decision and an easy win, but to NBA fans, the move is shunned. So what if Kevin Durant never joined the Warriors? Well, in 2017, if the Cavs and Warriors met again, it would have been one of the most exciting finals we have ever seen. Considering they were 1-1 in the finals, and if they had the same teams they had in the years before, it would make it so much more entertaining. And there is still a chance that Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant could have found success in OKC. Considering that 2017 was Russell Westbrook's prime, and he won MVP the next year, they definitely could have had a chance of winning it all. Number 3. If Michael Jordan never played baseball. Michael Jordan won 3 straight championships in 1991, 92, and 93. And after the passing of his father, he decided to quit basketball and take up professional baseball. Jordan ended up returning the following year and led the Bulls to their second straight three-peat. But what if Michael Jordan never took that year off? In 1994, the matchup would have likely been the Bulls and the Rockets. Jordan being 6-0 in the finals is a big staple of his career, and the reason to many why he is the greatest of all time. If Michael Jordan never retired, the Bulls could have possibly four-peated and he would be 7-0 in the finals. But if the Bulls lost in the finals, Jordan would have been 6-1. It would have been amazing to see the Bulls go against that Rockets team in the finals, and it would have answered a lot of unanswered questions and hypotheticals revolving around that Bulls dynasty. At number 2, if Derrick Rose never got injured. Derrick Rose is the most loved NBA player of all time. In 2011, he was the youngest MVP of all time, and he was doing things we had never seen from a point guard. Prime D-Rose was unstoppable. Nobody was stopping him from getting inside and dunking on everybody. He was one of the most exciting players we have ever seen, but his career sadly took a turn when he suffered a career-altering injury in 2012. Since this moment, Derrick Rose could just not stay healthy. All of his potential slowly faded away, and we never got to truly witness what D-Rose could have been. If Derrick Rose never got injured, we could be looking at one of the greatest point guards to ever play the game. Even if he never won a championship or any other accolades, it's still sad that his future was robbed from him because of an injury like that. The fact that he could have accomplished so much more is a very hard pill to swallow for NBA fans, and one of the most upsetting what-ifs in NBA history. At number 1, if the Lakers and the Cavaliers played against each other in the 2009 finals. In 2009, the Lakers and the Magic went up against each other in the NBA Finals, but this was almost not the case. The entire season, through commercials and advertisements, they had been promoting LeBron versus Kobe. Kobe and the Lakers made it, but LeBron and the Cavaliers would lose to the Orlando Magic in 6 games. This would have been one of the most historic NBA Finals of all time, and it never happened. This was absolutely the closest we ever got to seeing LeBron and Kobe in a final series, and it's insane that it never happened, even though they were the 2 best players in the NBA at the same time for 13 years on opposite conferences. It would have been a great matchup considering they were both either nearing towards or in their prime, and it would have stirred up a lot more discussion about LeBron versus Kobe. Nobody knows who actually would have won the series, but considering that the Lakers beat the Magic after the Magic beat the Cavs, it's safe to assume that the Lakers would have won. Either way, this is a rivalry that NBA fans wish they could have got to see in the finals. Let me know your guys' picks for the craziest what-ifs in the comments below, but that's all I've got for today. Thank you all for watching. Make sure to check out my last video where I rank the top 10 greatest duos in NBA history. But with that being said, I'm out of here, and I'll see y'all in the next one.